I'm very happy to be here today with Rhoda Au, who's going to tell us a bit about her work and why she's so interested in sex and gender differences. So Rhoda, could you tell me, the way you would explain it to your grandmother, what is it that you do?
So I am a neuropsychologist, and I am very interested in the brain in general. So for me, the work that I'm doing is I'm really interested in brain health. So not necessarily focused on disease, but really this idea that we can optimize people's brain health across their entire lifespan. And what I say is that when you enable brain health, you enable everything else.
Could you tell us a little bit about how your work relates to sex and gender differences?
Sure. So I am a neuropsychologist, and I am very interested in brain health. And so it's less about sort of disease as much as it's about optimizing brain health. And really what it comes down to is that women are at more risk for certain kinds of brain-related disorders. The other thing is that women are the caretakers. So when anybody in the family has any kind of condition, it doesn't have to be brain-related, any physical health condition, it tends to be the women who bring them. I am a researcher at the Framingham Heart Study, and I also can tell you that it's the women who bring their husbands into the study, they bring their children into the study, they keep our study going in many ways. And so I see that this is an issue of not just looking at diseases that affect women. I think this is about women driving the solutions that we need for brain health.
If we're thinking about this kind of conference, bring people to talk about sex and gender differences, how do we? It's a growing topic, but it's still a little bit niche. So how do you think we can get the word out better? How can we get more people who maybe aren't convinced yet to be a part of the conversation?
I think in general, we need to do a better job of hearing our women. I think women need to do a better job of voicing, of raising their voices to be heard. I think that it's often the case that while women are behind the scenes driving things forward in the ways that I just mentioned, I think that where women need to rise up together is to bring a voice to what they're doing. And I think that women are good communicators. They just need to start communicating.
That makes a lot of sense. And so
yeah.
how do we do this? I think you're perfectly right. Women have to find their voice. How can we bring the men on board too?
I think that the other part that women need to do better at, I think, in terms of communicating, and I speak for myself, it's about advocating for what you believe in, but advocating in a way that communicates the value proposition to the people who are listening, and that includes the men. So I think it's about, and I do this all the time in my work, because I work with a lot of technology companies, and I'm a researcher, why would they possibly want to work with me? So what I learned to focus on is, what is it of interest to them? What's the value proposition to them, and how can I articulate my message in a way that they can hear it?
Just to wrap up, if you had to think of a message to sort of the new generation, the incoming, not just scientists, but policymakers, sort of just the new generation, to get this topic, to get the attention that it needs, what would you say to them?
There's certainly my message to young women, which is you have to do a better job of advocating for yourself and advocating for women in general, and that you have to find a way to learn to speak up. And then I would say to the more general population, you have to learn how to listen and hear the messages, because they're really important ones.
That was great. Thank you so much for taking the time and for being here, because it's really important to be, like you said, part of the conversation. And,
that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here because I want to help be part of that. I want to help the conversation in any way that I can.
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.